morning, fish fans. This is Captain Mark Hollywood Johnson at Angler House Marina. Today we're filming with the boys from Salt Strong, and we're going to talk about the proper application and how to use a fender when you're rafting boats up side by side. So this morning we got a couple of different applications going on here, and we're just going to touch base on the simple knots we use, how we adjust the fender height, and the different styles of fender that we use every day in our business. When we're busy here in the marina and we got to put boats together and raft them all up, most important is if we try to match boats with gunnel height, being similar the best you can. And then if you're not able to keep rub rail to rub rail, as you can see these two bay boats are a little bit different in height with their gunnel, then we deploy the fender. So the cool thing about the fender, it's pretty generic. You can buy them all over the place. Okay, they're a non-marking, some sort of big rubber plastic, big giant squeeze ball, and you can tie it to your cleat, you can tie it to a handrail, you can tie it to a steering wheel, whatever it takes to put it. Placement is your biggest concern. So when you run these fenders in between these boats, your height is what comes into play. If you have it obviously too far low in the water, and it is below your gunnel match, it's not going to be effective at all. So in this application, you want your fender up between the two gunnels so that they keep from bumping into each other, right? Seems pretty obvious. But what you don't want to do is be too high, because if you're too high, sometimes they can move off. And if you're too low, sometimes they get below the gunnel. Okay, so most important is your fender height. So in this application, you want to be, let's say, like so. So you got a little room, little wiggle room for play. And then once you're in here, the knot that you use to go around your cleat, we covered in the knot section, right? Is that famous figure eight with the locking half hitch. So you got your fender in here the best you can. You do your figure eight, and then remember, you always want to finish that with a locking half hitch. So you can get this up a little higher, okay? So you can get it up high, keep it in between the boats, lock it in here with your half hitch on top. Pretty simple. As far as tying a knot to your fender, a couple half hitches work, anything that's not going to come untied, okay? Pretty simple, but again, most important is your height. You want to make sure that you're not too low where it doesn't do any good for you, or too high that if your boats move around, it comes out of the water completely, okay? Now, this is what standard fender looks like. Again, you can buy them all different places, West Marine, tackle shops, they come in different colors, different sizes. That's all going to depend on the application, whether it's big boats, small boats, docks. So just make sure you find the right fender for the task. And then we also like to use what we call in the industry is an anchor ball. You can see back here. So this is also a boat fender, but we use it for other things like anchor pulling on the reef, okay? And also for quick release anchor when we're tarpon fishing and stuff, because you can toss it over with your anchor line and come back and get to it when you run off to chase a fish. So to me, I would rather have this as the boat as a anchor ball as well as your buoy here, okay, your fender, because this is multiple purpose. So you again, it's just round, it's non-marking, you can put it down between the boats, it ties on just the same, it does the same thing that this does. It's a little easier to store because of size, it fits in the hatch anchor locker, whereas I mean in all seriousness you could use this for the same application as that, but it's much bigger. But once again, the whole thing about fenders is all about the height. You want to keep it in here so that the boat's gunnels aren't touching. And you want to tie it with your figure eight on your cleat, and you always finish it with a lock and half hitch. All right, for any further questions on how to deploy a fender, knots to tie, what size fenders to use for applications that fit your needs, you can always find us on saltstrong.com as well as floridakeysfunfishing.com.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live salt strong and wear the line today.